It's MC Monte in the place to be. Welcome to the adventures of MC Monte. This series is all about making Lord Drakkon cosplay. Yeah. In this video, I'll be making Lord Drakkon's Power Ranger cuffs, the bracers, and the leg armor, as well as the belt. I really love the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comics by Boom Studios, and I modeled my Lord Drakkon cosplay straight out of the image from the comic books. I created a pattern for this build, so if you like, you can download my patterns from my Etsy shop. I'll put a link to the patterns in the description below. Everything you need is listed in the description below. Gather your supplies and let's get to it. I started off making the arm cuffs, so I cut out the base for the arm cuff. The small one is for the arm, the larger one is for the leg. So I traced the pattern for the arm cuff and cut it out. I'm using 4mm EVA foam. You can also use 6mm EVA foam. Then I put all the marks and connected the dots for the design lines on the cuffs. And then I scored those design lines with my wood burner. Next, I'm going to work on the detail pieces. This is the wrist detail, and this is the forearm detail. Let's make the wrist detail first. I traced the wrist detail pattern, and I mirrored it so that I get to trace the other side so that I get a complete pattern. The score line is important, so make sure you trace that. And then I drew the score lines and cut it all out. Next, I took my wood burner and scored those lines on the back of the wrist detail. So make sure that you do that on the back. And then I used my then I used my glue gun and I glued that piece down into position. So this score line is important to get this design detail. And then I glued everything into place. I'm using Surebonder hot glue that is specifically formulated for EVA foam. Once I glued this piece together, it was done. So you do two, one for each wrist, and it will look like this. And it's gonna glue on top of the arm cuff. So now I'm tracing and cutting out my design, my elbow detail. This part goes closer to the elbow at the top of the cuff. The pattern is going to look slightly different. I actually improved the pattern so you won't have two separate pieces. The pattern will already be together so you don't have to glue the two halves together. So now I'm just doing the same thing. I'm scoring the lines on the back and I'm going to glue everything together. Now we'll have two elbow detail pieces, and they go at the top of the arm cuff, like so. Next, I'm going to make the leg cuffs. I'm just repeating the same process I did for the arm cuffs. This pattern is just a little bit bigger for my legs. So I'm tracing the base piece out and cutting it out. And then I'm going to score the design lines on the top. You're gonna repeat all the same steps for the leg detail. This is your leg detail piece. Cut out one, flip it over, cut out another one. So for your leg cuff, you're gonna put one at the top, and the smaller portion is gonna glue to the cuff, and the rest is gonna be at the top hanging off like this. So the smaller portion gets glued down to the base. The same thing at the ankle. The smaller portion is gonna get glued into place. For the ankle, you're gonna have too much material, so mark, cut the rest off. For the detail pieces, I'm going to use flexi filler to fill in my gaps and seams, and a cup of water. So I apply the flexi filler with my finger, then I dip my finger in water and smooth it all out and make sure it's smooth and there's no extra material. After it dries, if you need to do a second coat, do a second coat, or move on to the sanding process. If you need to smooth it out some more, you can dip a piece of sandpaper into water and wet sand it all smooth, then dab it dry. To paint the detail pieces, I'm using 2 coats of FX green flexi paint and 1 coat of no tack finisher. Next, I'm going to wrap the cuffs in gold fabric. I'm using my Sharpie to trace the design around just bigger than the cuff, and then cut that out with my fabric scissors. Then I'm going to use spray adhesive Super 77 to glue it all together. So I use Super 77 spray adhesive, and I sprayed the back of the fabric and the top of the cuff. Then I glue it all together after it gets tacky. So now that it's tacky, I'm going to press the fabric onto the cuff, and I'm going to use my finger to press the fabric down through the detail line. I'll take it, spray it one more time along the edges. Spray it one more time along the edges. After you spray it one more time along the edges, let it get tacky, and then fold your edges over so that you have a completely wrapped cuff. And I'm trimming away any excess fabric with my scissors. And this is what it would look like when you're done. Next, I'm going to glue the detail pieces onto my cuffs. I'm drawing a pencil line where I need to put the glue. And after I draw a pencil line where I need to put the glue, I'm using contact cement. So I take my contact cement and a piece of EVA foam to apply the contact cement where I put the guideline. After I put contact cement on both pieces, I just let it get tacky, then I stick it together. I'm going to glue my detail pieces into place on the cuff. I start by gluing the wrist detail to the cuff. Sorry, I'm out of frame right here. And then I glued the elbow detail into place. And when it's done, it'll look like this. I have a little bit of extra on the wrist cuff, so I just trim it off. Then I made 2 closures and using Velcro for the cuff. For Power Ranger cuffs, people usually do a hidden Velcro or a zipper. Next, I'm going to make the belt. I used the old Green Ranger belt that I already had, and I'm going to recycle that belt and make it into my Lord Drakkon belt. So because I had those pieces already made, I started with making my Lord Drakkon coin, and I cut the coin pieces out of EVA foam and I glued them together. And after the coin was made, I just sprayed it with gold spray paint. Oops. And then I glued it onto the Morpher. If you would like to see the whole process of making this Morpher, I'll link the video at the top and in the description. And next I took my old Green Ranger belt and I just painted it green, the Lord Drakkon green. And after that was done, I took my paintbrush and some white paint and painted the white detail lines. And then I glued the Morpher back onto the front of the belt. And my Lord Drakkon belt was complete. Now you have your cuffs done, arm cuffs, leg cuffs, and your Lord Drakkon Power Ranger belt to complete the look to go with the shield. And there you have it. Your Lord Drakkon Power Ranger cuffs and belt are complete. One step closer to finishing your Lord Drakkon cosplay. If you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Give me that like. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified anytime I post a new video or tutorial. In the next video, we'll be working on Lord Drakkon's helmet and completing this Lord Drakkon cosplay. Remember to follow me on social media and share your work. Send me a message. Send me pictures of what you've been working on. And if you follow any of my tutorials, I would love to see your work. Always remember, adventure awaits. So get out into the world and explore. And I'll see you next time. And may the power protect you. Peace.